Welcome to the channel for you. Economy. Following independence and decolonization in the 20th century, most developing countries had dire need of new infrastructure, industry and economic stimulation. Many relied on foreign investment. This funding focused on improving infrastructure and industry, but led to a system of systemic exploitation. They exported raw materials, such as rubber, for a bargain. Companies based in the Western world have often used the cheaper labor in developing countries for production. The West benefited significantly from this system, but left developing countries undeveloped. This arrangement is sometimes called neocolonialism, meaning a system in which less developed countries are taken advantage of by developed countries. It does not necessarily mean that former colonies are still controlled by their former colonizer, it refers to colonial-like exploitation. Developing countries are often helping further develop rich countries, rather than being developed themselves. Several institutions have been established with the goal of putting an end to this system. One of these institutions is the new International Economic Order. They have a no-strings-attached policy that promotes developing countries remaining or becoming self-sufficient. More specifically, they advocate sovereignty over natural resources and industrialization. Coalitions of developing nations, like the NIEO, frequently lobby for parity in the world stage. The rise of China might imply the rise of the BRIC countries. Common challenges. The global issues most often discussed by developing countries include globalization, global health governance, health, and prevention needs. This is contrasted by issues developed nations tend to address, such as innovations in science and technology. Most developing countries have these criteria in common. High levels of poverty, measured based on GNI per capita averaged over 3 years. For example, if the GNI per capita is less than US $1,025 as of 2018, the country is regarded as a least developed country. Human resource weakness based on indicators of nutrition, health, education and adult literacy. Economic vulnerability based on instability of agricultural production, instability of exports of goods and services, economic importance of non-traditional activities, merchandise export concentration, handicap of economic smallness, and the percentage of population displaced by natural disasters. Urban slums. According to UN Habitat, around 33% of the urban population in the developing world in 2012, or about 863 million people, lived in slums. In 2012, the proportion of urban population living in slums was highest in sub-Saharan Africa, 62%, followed by South Asia, 35%, Southeast Asia, 31%, and East Asia, 28%. 127. The UN Habitat reports that 43% of urban population in developing countries and 78% of those in the least developed countries are slum dwellers. Slums form and grow in different parts of the world for many different reasons. Causes include rapid rural to urban migration, economic stagnation and depression, high unemployment, poverty, informal economy, forced or manipulated ghettoization, poor planning, politics, natural disasters and social conflicts. For example, as populations expand in poorer countries, rural people are moving to cities in an extensive urban migration that is resulting in the creation of slums. In some cities, especially in countries in southern Asia and sub-Saharan Africa, slums are not just marginalized neighborhoods holding a small population, slums are widespread, and are home to a large part of urban population. These are sometimes called slum cities. Violence against women. Several forms of violence against women are more prevalent in developing countries than in other parts of the world. For example, dowry violence and bride burning is associated with Bangladesh and Nepal. Acid throwing is also associated with these countries, as well as in Southeast Asia, including Cambodia. Honor killing is associated with the Middle East and South Asia. Marriage by abduction is found in Ethiopia, Central Asia and the Caucasus. Abuse related to payment of bride price, such as violence, trafficking and forced marriage, is linked to parts of sub-Saharan Africa and Oceania. Female genital mutilation (FGM) is another form of violence against women which is still occurring in many developing countries. It is found mostly in Africa, and to a lesser extent in the Middle East and some other parts of Asia. Developing countries with the highest rate of women who have been cut are Somalia with 98% of women affected, Guinea 96%, Djibouti 93%, Egypt 91%, Eritrea 89%, Mali 89%, Sierra Leone 88%, Sudan 88%, Gambia 76%, Burkina Faso 76%, and Ethiopia 74%. Due to globalization and immigration, FGM is spreading beyond the borders of Africa and Middle East, to countries such as Australia, Belgium, Canada, France, New Zealand, the US, and UK. The Istanbul Convention prohibits female genital mutilation, Article 38. As of 2016, FGM has been legally banned in many African countries. According to UN Women Facts and Figures on Ending Violence Against Women, it is estimated that 35% of women worldwide have experienced either physical and sexual violence by intimate partners or sexual violence by a non-partner, not including sexual harassment, at some point in their lives. Evidence shows women who have had experienced physical or sexual intimate partner violence report higher rates of depression, having an abortion and acquiring HIV, compared to women who have not had experienced any physical or sexual violence. Data from multi-country from Middle East and North Africa shows that men who witnessed